Welcome to this video from the Macoy Publishing Library. I'm Steve McCall. Today we're taking a look at one of the best leadership guides produced by a member of the craft, 6 Feathers of Leadership by Robert Keller, published by Macoy in 2008. Although many leadership guides have been used in Freemasonry, there are very few that are actually written by a member of our order. Most of these handbooks are written for business and then retroactively applied to the fraternity. But 6 Feathers of Leadership is written not only with an emphasis on Masonic organizations, but by a Brother Mason. Brother Robert Keller holds a master's degree in education counseling from Arizona State University and is a past master of King Kalakaua Daylight Masonic Lodge in Hawaii. A member of the Scottish Rite and York Rites, as well as several other appendant bodies, Brother Keller has used his experiences, both professionally and Masonically, to craft a leadership guide that echoes Masonic principles. In the introduction to the book, he recognizes that to apply business principles, as most leadership manuals do, to a Masonic organization is a non sequitur. Quote, "To be effective as a volunteer organization leader, one must recognize that there is no paycheck. The only hook is the satisfaction one gets from being involved with the organization, its successes, and its people. All organizations are in a very strong competition for good, skilled volunteer leaders. And there is nothing more defeating than to see a really qualified member depart because of some stupid action on the part of a supposed leader. Leaders in the volunteer organizations do not have power. In fact, their powers derive solely from those whom they manage. The more those members believe in, relate to, and are respected by the leaders, the more they will produce. The members must buy into the goals, actually be involved in setting them alongside the leaders, and they must also determine appropriate rules for the operations leading to the accomplishment of those goals, and they must have fun through positive interactions with group members as well while carrying out these tasks which they have mutually decided." Unquote. 6 Feathers of Leadership is not your standard leadership book. It's a compact, thorough tour of leadership principles that can be applied to Masonic organizations and produce dramatic results, the key to which is earning and building on mutual respect between leaders and followers, which is a core foundation of Masonic teaching. What's inside? The title of this book is emblematic of Brother Kelleher's style of leadership. He writes about the symbolism of the feathers mentioned in the title of the book. Quote, "Although I will use this emblematic allegorical representation of my proposed leadership style through this discourse, let me introduce the primary image, that of the leader draping his arm around the shoulders of his staff like the wing of an eagle, to enfold them into the ideals of a supportive, energetic leadership style." Unquote. From this image of the eagle's wing, the author divides his subject into 6 principal characteristics: group process, planning, leadership styles, retention of interest, the importance of listening, and the last vital point for Masonic organization, the importance of having fun. In the first chapter, Brother Roberts reminds us that the most important duty as a Freemason is to learn. The craft uses allegory illustrated by symbols as the means to teach us its lessons. Quoting from chapter 1, quote, "Symbolism is all around us. With man's advancing knowledge came an enormous increase in the number of symbols that he must understand if he is to survive. Every science, profession, craft, and even sport has its symbolism. The musician would be lost without symbols. Highway signs guide millions of us daily. The world of business would come to a standstill without its symbols. Symbolism has kept Freemasonry a vital force in the world and has set Masonry apart from all organizations that would imitate her. Its method of teaching great truths through allegory and symbols has appealed to the knowledgeable men throughout the ages. This method of teaching has helped Freemasons to satisfy their spiritual needs and to accomplish what they, quote, came here to do, unquote, to improve themselves in Masonry." Unquote. What follows is a comprehensive guide to Masonic symbolism, written for laymen, not mystics, and which explains the beautiful interconnectedness of the craft's symbols. Written in a fluid, engaging, and easily to understand style, Brother Keller presents us with solid advice on how to navigate leadership problems in Freemasonry. Here's an excerpt from chapter 4. Quote, We are all interested in successfully completing the job given to us. This is probably the most damaging interference to becoming a successful leader. While the tasks are important, we can only successfully guide others through the accomplishment of those tasks if the team members believe in the project, if they trust the leadership, and if they wish to fulfill the objectives of the group. A competent leader is successful at persuading others to accomplish the interim tasks leading to the completion of the project. This is the key to earning your first feather, or the first step toward being a leadership eagle. It is the understanding that the accomplishment of the project depends upon the willingness and the ability of the team members to take on their tasks and to move forward to meet those goals. However, knowing isn't doing. Deep down in your subconscious mind, you must recognize the importance of understanding the motivational factors of each member on your team. Members will respond only in a lukewarm manner if they don't feel that they are receiving the proper training, preparation, advancement, input, directions, information, guidelines, appreciation, approval, respect, and esteem. All of these are essential in getting the job done. Unquote. The 6 Feathers of Leadership has been well received by readers. Stuart M. Cowan, past Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Hawaii, writes, 6 Feathers of Leadership is an interesting, well-organized, and well-presented series of written lectures giving guidance to future leaders, not only of the Masonic fraternity, but to any reader who will take the time to read and digest its precepts. It is a volume with which new members of any public service group or volunteer organization should make themselves familiar, in providing guidance on how to best get along in, provide service to, and fulfill the mission of such organization. While many books and publications are, quote, in the market dealing with this subject, Bob Keller's newest is the wonderful addition to leadership. Many lodges and chapters have used 6 Feathers of Leadership as the foundation for their leadership training, and Brother Keller's book should be included in a short list of books for incoming lodge and Grand Lodge officers. 6 Feathers of Leadership will resonate with readers from any Masonic organization, and your members will respond positively to the principles it lays out, which echo the principles of Freemasonry itself. I hope you've enjoyed today's book highlight. As always, I'm Steve McCall, and stay on the level.